Matt Jordan lives at a research station in Antarctica. This is what happened when he tried to have dinner outdoors in a temperature of minus 57 degrees Celsius. This is the largest Rubik's Cube in the world. It measures 21 by 21. Captain Cuber managed to solve it in 5 hours and 47 minutes. This is officially the smallest window in the world. It is located in Toledo, Spain, and even has bars. We wouldn't want any goblins getting in. This is the largest air hockey table in the world. It was built by the guys at VAT 19. It measures 7.5 meters by 3.5 meters. Watch how a frog's tongue moves when it hunts its prey. It looks like a liquid. LEGO sent 1,000 astronaut figures into space with the help of a helium balloon. They rose to an altitude of 32 kilometers and fell when the balloon popped. This is how they remove winter hair from horses. Look at how much hair they shed. Did you know that if you leave a bottle of water in a parked car under the sun, you could cause a fire? It creates a magnifying effect that can burn your upholstery. A new fear unlocked. Indium is one of the softest and most malleable metals. It can be shaped with your hands. It has the texture of gum. Watch how the Action Lab chews it. Don't try this at home. Someone captured the exact moment a military plane strikes a flock of birds. A famous stone decor store in Japan carved this marble racing track onto a stone. I could spend hours watching the marbles fall. Flipbook by Blade creates animations of musical characters singing along with the music.
I want to break free.
This is the tule tree in Oaxaca, Mexico, and it has the thickest trunk in the world. It has over 40 meters in circumference. It takes about 25 people holding hands to surround it completely. On May 26, 2023, Flight Radar 24 recorded the highest number of planes flying simultaneously in history, over 22,000 planes in the air at once. Watch how Eric Schmidt simulates moving traffic with his hand. Pastry chef Amaury Guichon created a foosball table made entirely of chocolate. Here you can see a bit of the process, even the players. Absolutely everything is made of this sweet treat. Did you know that trees can catch fire from the inside if they're struck by lightning? It doesn't always happen, but when it does, the tree must be cut down to prevent the fire from spreading. Life Penalty is a robot that shoots penalties. It is operated with a mobile app. Many of the world's top clubs use it to train their goalkeepers. Andy Genk built a mecha robot to defend his home. It shoots pressurized water and punches with its fists. This is how they filmed some of the underwater scenes for the new live-action version of The Little Mermaid. This is the Circle Bridge in Denmark. These 5 platforms move to allow taller boats to pass. We are getting closer and closer to having a real hoverboard like in Back to the Future. This is a prototype made by Carey Robot Lab. This is literally an iced coffee. They serve it at Cafe 33 in Kyoto, Japan. The best part is that it comes with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. The presentation is amazing. This page is Emoji Kitchen. Here you can combine 2 emojis to create an entirely new one, like a cat with a turtle, a pig with a ghost, an avocado with cheese. The possibilities are endless. Let us know in the comments what the funniest combination you found is. Can you believe that artificial intelligence is already capable of recognizing smells? This artificial nose can identify the aroma of bread and coffee. It can be trained to recognize any scent. This is the behind the scenes of the movie The Call of the Wild. Believe it or not, many of the dog scenes were filmed like this, using this actor as a reference. The baby map page shows in real time every time a child is born around the world. Each flash represents a birth. The most active countries are India and China by far. Shoot Perfect broke the record for the highest basketball shot a few days ago. They threw the ball from the top of the Stratosphere Hotel in Las Vegas. This was from over 250 meters high. Let's go. Did you know that you can use the stem of a dandelion as a whistle? Some people have very strange talents. This is one of the strangest we've seen. This looks like an ordinary kid's t-shirt, but it isn't. Watch what happens when it comes into contact with water. It turns into a life jacket. Alexei Golorodko works as a contortionist for Cirque du Soleil. His flexibility knows no bounds. He looks like he's made of rubber. If you Google the word lips, you'll find dozens of pictures of lips with this shape. This is called the Cupid's bow, and almost no one has lips like this. Only about 5% of the population. For $95, you can have a miniature figure of yourself. Companies like Dub scan your body and print it in resin. Space Koala was recording the moon with his telescope when a plane passed in front of him. This kind of mini banana can produce thousands of fruits on a single stem. It is called Musa mil dedos. Watch how mosquitoes are attracted to the heat emanating from this man's hand. Even though they're separated by glass, this is why they are not easily found. These scissors are very rock star. They are shaped like a Stratocaster guitar. Once again, we can see that cats are a liquid. It doesn't look very comfortable, but it seems like he likes it. These are the most extreme stairs in the world. It is an art installation shaped like a roller coaster where you can climb up and admire the views. For obvious reasons, this part is off limits. In this animation, we can see Earth and our sun. It's immense, isn't it? You haven't seen anything yet. This is Stephenson 218, the largest star we've discovered. Its volume is 10 billion times greater than the sun. Look at our little sun. It looks insignificant. In this video, we can see a comparison between current animals and their ancestors. The difference between some of them is impressive. Look at a beaver, a crocodile, and a rhinoceros. Did you know you can boil water in a paper cup? I swear it's true. If you set the cup alone, it will burn. But if you fill it with water, you can get the water to boil without burning the cup. She is Johanna Fang, and she creates some of the sounds for PlayStation video games. Watch how she created the sound for this cutscene in God of War. And here's the final result. This is the latest trend in the tattoo world, blurry tattoos. You're not seeing double. This is how they are. Michael Lewis managed to do 27 backward flips in 20 seconds. Jordan from Stallion teaches us how to correctly pour a can of soda. This way, it won't spill or lose its fizz. This is what VIP cinemas look like in Switzerland. It's like a buffet where you can grab any drinks and snacks you want. The best part is that the seats are beds. This is what a dart looks like at 380 kilometers per hour. This slow-motion video was recorded at 100,000 frames per second. Did you know that in the city of Billund, Denmark, there's a warehouse that houses every single Lego set ever released? The first one went on sale in 1958. As you can see, there weren't many at first, but as the years go by, there are more and more collections. Here are the ones from 2023. And as you can see, there are many more shelves for what's to come. Did you know there's a website called Forgotify where you can listen to forgotten songs with 0 plays on Spotify? Just click here. The Encephalartos woody cycad is a cycad found in the city of Billund. It's known as the world's loneliest tree. Since 1895, a female specimen has been sought so that it can reproduce, but none have been found to date. This is Zoe, and she has the largest dog-like tongue in the world. It measures 12.7 centimeters long. This is how future cargo ship operators learn and train to maneuver on the water. These ships are miniature versions of large vessels. James Way built an acrylic acoustic guitar. It is completely transparent and sounds pretty good. This map is located in the Aurora Museum in Iceland. People are invited to pin a marker from the country they're visiting. He is Ottony Holm, a stunt double in movies. This is how he practices his dramatic falls. Don't try this. He is a professional and knows how to fall without hurting himself. Look at how easily beavers chew wood. It looks like chewing gum. This is the largest calcium stone that has been extracted from a kidney. It measured 13.37 centimeters long by 10.55 centimeters wide. Deer are herbivorous animals. If food is scarce and their diet lacks minerals such as calcium or phosphorus, they may resort to eating meat. Watch as this one eats a snake. This is one of the tricks of magician Javier Mortimer. It looks incredible, doesn't it? Here's how he did it. This arm isn't his, it's fake. It connects to the metal structure it rests on. It looks something like this. At the other end of the cart, there are 2 bags filled with weights that act as a counterweight. And how does he move by moving his feet? He doesn't. If you look closely, you can see how they are pulling him. This was the animatronic used for the giant rat scenes in Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. Have you ever seen an owl's ear? You can see part of its eye. In Germany, a pyramid made of 120 concrete blocks is being constructed. However, as you can see, currently there are only 3 blocks. They add a new one every 10 years. It will be completed by 3183. This is the only tree in the world with its own postal code. It's called the Groom's Oak. Each year, around 1,000 letters from people seeking partners arrive here. Anyone can take the letters and reply. The tree is responsible for more than 100 marriages. Did you know that in China, if you cross the street too soon or too late, your face is projected on a screen for others to see how irresponsible you are? Look at the difference between a fabric made with polyester and one made with cotton. As you can see, polyester absorbs much more grease and dirt. That's why gym clothes generally smell really bad. Fresh, but smelly. These are sea butterflies. They are marine snails. They have 2 lobes shaped like wings that flutter to ascend and descend through the water. This is what the skull of a beluga whale looks like. It's practically flat. However, its head is soft and ball-like. This organ is called the melon and is made of fats and oils. It acts as a kind of radar that they use to communicate and locate their prey through echolocation. She is Lauren Marsden, an actress who recently played Amy in The Pope's Exorcist. On her TikTok, she shows how she eats with prosthetics and makeup. If you pay attention, you can see that here are her lips and her mouth. The rest is silicone. This roller coaster is located in Hulanbur Park in China. You ride on a sled over rails at over 50 kilometers per hour. He is Danilo de Campos, and his job is to dance in the sky. This is one of his amazing routines. On this page, you can see the most beautiful banknote of each year. In 2022, the title went to the Philippines, in 2021 to Mexico's I-20, Aruba in 2019, and Canada in 2018. This is what happens if you open your window when it's minus 50 degrees Celsius outside. Misty Lee creates the sounds that zombies make in movies. Watch how she does it. He is Mohawk Bob, and he uses his hair to promote brands and names. If you pay him enough, he'll paint whatever you ask on his hair. Did you know that in Russia, they serve coffee with breast milk? It's not a joke. A group of lactating women sells their milk to the Coffee Smile Cafe. The owner says they sell around 50 cups a day. Rosalones is creating each of the blocks of Minecraft in real life. Watch how he paints them. Quality control is very demanding. Animation Designs is a company that incorporates the ashes of your video game or loved ones into dinnerware. You can put your grandmother's ashes in a plate or a cup, although I don't know if I could drink from that cup. This is Arturo the tapir, and this is the face he makes when he's scratched. Stephen Richard recreated the scene at the end of Toy Story 1. Look how he modifies the toys to make them look exactly the same. After several attempts, I think it turned out pretty well. This is how snakes that feed on bird eggs eat. First, they ingest the egg. This can take several hours. Once inside, they break the shell. And once they absorb all the liquid inside, they regurgitate it. Did you know this trick for folding pants? He is Jean-Baptiste Chandelier, a paragliding pilot known for flying very close to the ground. Watch how he goes down and up as if it were nothing. Did you know that rainbows are not arcs, but circles? Typically, we don't see them because the horizon gets in the way. In this time lapse, you can see the development of a baby parakeet over 41 days. They change a lot in a short time. And look how tiny it was when it hatched. This animation shows the earthquakes that occurred from January 1st, 1901 to December 31st, 2000, at a rate of 1 year per second. These were the three strongest. On November 4th, 1952, in Kamchatka, Russia, 9.0. On March 28, 1964, in Prince William, Alaska, 9.2. And on May 22, 1960, in Valdivia, Chile. When there isn't much food on the ocean floor, algae-eating fish resort to sucking the bodies of other fish. Every year, the Optical Illusions competition takes place. Matt Pritchard was the 2023 winner with his illusion of Platform 9 and 3-4. Carmageddon built the flattest car in the world. It's practically glued to the ground. The best part is that it's completely functional. Watch how they drive it. It doesn't look very comfortable. The car they used was a 1977 Fiat Panda. This is the hardest dish in the world. Yes, they're polished river stones with sauce. This is the correct way to eat it. The name of the dish is swodio, which means to suck and discard. The stones are not eaten. These are the bath bombs from the movie Jaws. They release pleasant salts and aromas. Well, in the end, they become quite realistic. In this image, you can see the composition of breast milk from different species. The bottle on the left is from a wolf, the one in the center is from a whale, and the one on the right is from a human mother. The yellow color represents fat, blue protein, pink sugar, and white water. Big Mike Farland spent over 400 hours carving an old piece of wood to make a Tyrannosaurus skull. Take a look at some of his process. The result was amazing. In Japan, there's a cafe where, in addition to having a good time, you can watch kittens play on a miniature train set. The combination is a bit explosive, but very entertaining. If you're ever near Osaka, consider visiting it. This is one of the most original and strange desserts I've seen, a helium popsicle. Watch what happens when it inhales its contents. These are the keyboards from Centerpiece. As you can see, the keys are completely transparent, and there's a screen at the bottom where you can project videos. Mountain biker Fabio Wibner can ride downstairs backward on a single tire. He makes it look so easy. Have you ever seen a capybara eat? This is one of the strangest jobs in the world. It involves jumping off a moving boat to collect its mail and returning as quickly as possible before it drifts away from the dock. Have you ever seen how ink comes out of a marker up close? Josie Grant travels the world searching for gravestones with recipes on them. She prepares the dish by following the instructions to the letter and eats it next to the graves of its creators. Check out this amazing Spider-Man mask created by Sean Crafts. It has a mechanism that allows it to open and close its eyes to show expressions. Look how giraffes protect their young. They place them under their legs. Have you ever wondered how many days you've lived? Probably not, but if you're curious now, there's a website called you.regettingold.com. Just enter your birth date, and it will give you the exact number of days you've lived. If you type Katamari into the Google search bar, you'll see a colorful sphere in the upper right corner of your screen. Click on it. You can move it around at will and cause chaos in the search engine. Have you ever seen someone scuba dive in a wheelchair? She's Sue Austin, and she equipped her chair with a propeller and stabilizers to dive freely in the sea. Listen to how ambulance sirens sound in Belgium. Did you know that in Saudi Arabia, Starbucks has a different logo? The Muslim religion considers the nude mermaid morally incorrect. This is the logo they use there. In 1969, elephants near Heathrow Airport in London were fitted with earplugs to protect them from the noise made by airplanes. This is a mannequin from 1930 used to train future dentists. The teeth could be removed and reattached. Did you know that pandas often urinate while standing on their hands? This allows them to mark higher up on trees. Did you know that Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire have a WhatsApp group called the Spider Boys? This is how food commercials are filmed in Asia. To be honest, it's a little disturbing. This is the fastest remote-controlled car in the world to date. It reaches a speed of 210 miles per hour or 335 kilometers per hour. This spider is an expert diver. Watch how it raises its backside out of the water to make a bubble, which it anchors in the vegetation. It uses it to breathe underwater. And the joy of pancakes creates the most beautiful pancakes you've ever seen in your life. Check out the level of detail in each one. This is a bee's stinger. Watch how it continues to inject venom by itself, even after it has been detached from the rest of its body. Ryder built a water printer for his car. It's an electronic system that opens and closes small water valves. Professional hockey rinks have these mini windows in their walls, so cameramen can take pictures without the reflection of the glass. They have to close them when players approach to avoid accidents. These socks stick together by hand. They work like a small magnet. This is the Water Concert by composer Tan Dune. No joke, the drums are made of water. It's a bit disappointing in my opinion. These are the lip lamps by Jazz Harold. He makes them with silicone and molds. They light up when you squeeze them. This is a prototype for real-time subtitles designed for people with hearing loss. With the help of microphones and augmented reality glasses, they can see subtitles projected in real time over whoever is speaking.
Alright, so this is just going to be a test to see if those are working. The live captions should just follow me wherever I go.
Watch how fishing boats move during a storm. The impressive thing is that they can withstand the waves like it's nothing. This is Nose ID, a way to identify your dog using its nose print. It's meant to identify and locate lost dogs. In Denmark, there is a nuclear plant whose roof is a ski slope. The Cohen and Segreguera holds the record for reaching 400 kilometers per hour the fastest. It does it in just 28.81 seconds. This is Lunan, a dachshund who invites his stuffed animals to eat his food. He is very generous. This was an installation by Indian artist Daku. It features a suspended net structure with texts above pedestrians. The sun casts its shadow on the ground. This is the largest bicycle graveyard in the world. A few years ago, rental bicycles started to become popular. Many brands saw an opportunity and flooded the market. As you can see, there were too many. Many were never used. Did you know there's an Airbnb in the United States called the Drift Mansion? Besides a pool and 6 bedrooms, it has a private racetrack for drifting. This is what happens when 2 apples collide at 90 kilometers per hour. This is the satanic leaf-tailed gecko from Madagascar. Did you know that crabs move like helicopters underwater? I had no idea. When he was born, doctors gave Dayton Weber only a 3% chance of survival. Look at him destroying his rivals at the U.S. Cornhole Championship. This happened during halftime of an MLS soccer game, a 1 in a million shot. His prize was season tickets. What you see on the screen is called hobby horsing, a new Finnish sport where participants mimic horse events, such as jumping or dressage. It's no joke. People take it very seriously and even customize their hobby horses. Watch how frozen pizzas sold in supermarkets are made. Almost the entire process is automated. The inventor of URLs regrets adding slashes after HTTP in web addresses. He says they serve absolutely no purpose. This is a video of a fighter pilot surfing a set of clouds. These are a couple of optical illusions from the Museum of Fantastic Illusions in Prague. You can challenge your perspective with the split chair or confuse your brain with this painting. This is what a raindrop looks like under a microscope. Inside there's pollen from plants, some bacteria, and tiny remnants of organic matter. He is Ed Shinoso, and he holds the Guinness World Record for the most pull-ups in 1 minute while balancing a ball on his head. It was a total of 111. Edge Nails creates incredible nail designs. Look at these inspired by a lava lamp. Did you know that for The Rock to agree to film a movie, the studio has to sign a contract stating that the actor will take more hits than he gives? This is to maintain his tough guy image. Also, if his character loses a fight, he must remain sitting and never lying on the ground. This person has a handful of duck feathers in their hand. Look how efficiently they repel water. Have you heard of objectophilia? It refers to people who feel emotional and romantic attraction to an object. Strange as it sounds, Erica Lavery married the Eiffel Tower in 2007. Odd, right? But wait, it doesn't end there. A few years later, she divorced it when she fell in love with a red fence. Female northern cardinals have an incubation patch, a featherless area on their belly to provide direct contact between the egg and the skin. This is the largest spherical screen in the world. Its exterior is covered with 1.2 million LED screens the size of a hockey puck. Did you know that if you peel an apple, you're throwing away almost 50% of its total fiber content and 30% of its vitamin C? This is Yellow One, a plant-robot hybrid. The plant sends signals to the robot to move towards the light. At Far Glory Water Park in Taiwan, you can take a selfie with a mermaid. Hold your breath for over a minute and keep your eyes open as if it's nothing. The honeycomb of Australian bees looks like the upside-down world from Stranger Things. Watch how they filmed the flooded hallway scene in Titanic. It's a miniature set. Besides being a stylized H, the logo of the South Korean car brand Hyundai represents the handshake between a salesperson, the company, and a customer. This is officially the largest GPS message in the world. It was created by Japanese artist Yasan in 2010. To accomplish it, he walked and cycled 7,165 kilometers across all of Japan. This was the message, a marriage proposal for his girlfriend. In the end, she said yes. Adam, from north of the border, created a realistic figure of a Lego man. It's quite ugly. Did you know that they were making pizza 2,000 years ago? Or at least something similar? This painting was found in the ruins of Pompeii. Matt Thompson creates unusual things. On this occasion, he made a cooler shaped like a baby stroller, a clever way to distract people. Lionel Messi doesn't just have Ballon d'Or awards, he also has a foot. In 2012, Japanese sculptor Jin Satonaka made a mold to create a replica of his left foot in solid gold. It weighs more than 25 kilos. Watch how these frisky turtles interrupt this leopard while it was hunting. They have no decency. In January 2024, Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas, the largest cruise ship ever built, will set sail. It is 5 times heavier than the Titanic. It can accommodate over 10,000 people. Mother birds give everything for their chicks. Watch how this eagle protects its eggs from intense hail. It wasn't harmed, and its eggs remained intact. This is how kitchen strainers are made. At the Tamarado Science Museum in Japan, you can experiment with the gravitational forces of the planets in the solar system. It's almost impossible to lift the apple in the sun. This is the Thai version of a cheeseburger. Literally. It's a limited version on the menu of Burger King in Thailand. These are slot car races. They consist of miniature electric cars that run on a track. When I see this, the only thing that comes to mind is, how do they know who wins? Haikagani crabs have a curious pattern on their backs that looks like a human face. The Japanese say it's the face of a samurai. If your door doesn't close properly or moves when there's a lot of wind, try doing this. Now the door doesn't move. Check out this 3D maze by Steve Mold. It's a 3D representation of a Hilbert curve. Watch how the blue liquid advances through the maze. It's quite satisfying to see. This is MeTail, a robotic tail that you control with an app. You can choose from dozens of patterns and movements. Gravity Industries and Domino's Pizza teamed up to deliver pizzas at the Glastonbury Music Festival using jetpacks. This baby was born without nostrils. This condition is called arrhythmia and is a congenital anomaly characterized by the absence of an external nose. So far, around 30 cases have been reported worldwide. Have you ever wondered what type of sponge Bob is? He is not a cleaning sponge, as many think. His design and color were based on Aplycina fistularis, a tubular marine sponge. The Action Lab officially has the darkest car in the world. It is covered with a fabric that absorbs 99.9% of visible light. This is what it looks like on the outside. Nothing reflects off it. Tape paints on mountains and hills. The paint is made from charcoal. It does not pollute and washes away when it rains. This is what happens when you fly a drone in the middle of a swarm of mosquitoes. This is how the world's largest domino tower falls. There were over 100,000 pieces. Hyper-V shows us what augmented reality rings could be like in the future. Did you know that some people have tongues so long that they can touch the roof of their mouths? It may be that your next television can fold in half and store itself. Would you dare sleep in this bed? It is located at the Wangsheng Ordovician Extreme Theme Park in China. These are the stop-motion animations of Lego. Move and rearrange the Lego pieces in each frame to create this cool effect. Have you ever wondered why escalators have grooves and are not completely flat? This is to create a tight seal at the beginning and the end. This prevents objects from getting stuck, though it's not perfect. Crocs and plastic sandals can get stuck. The good thing is that they have an emergency system that stops their operation immediately if it happens. This is what happens when you put a balloon in an exhaust pipe. The reason most raincoats are yellow or red is so that you are more visible to cars during a storm. This is Globus Irrigal, a professional shooting machine that replicates extremely realistic crosses, shots, and throws. You can adjust the angle. Have you ever wondered why basketball hoops have nets? The net gives us a visual and auditory confirmation that the ball has gone in. If it weren't there, it would be complicated to know 100% if the ball went in. Jim Arrington is the oldest bodybuilder in the world. He is 90 years old, and although his skin does not have the firmness it once had, he is much stronger than most people watching this video. Disposable plastic cups are not good for the environment at all. Still, it is interesting to see how they are made. This machine uses pressure and heat to thermoform thin sheets of plastic into thousands of cups per hour. Skydiver Eric Fenat shows us what it's like to pass through a storm cloud. Look at all the tiny water droplets. Be very careful when scanning a QR code. Make sure it's not fake. People do this to steal your information. This is Fila Light, a curious lamp that lights up a thin filament. The spaghetti must be connected at one end to function. China is the country that uses the most toilet paper in the world. They use nearly 6.5 billion kilometers a year. This is more than double the distance from the Earth to Neptune. Xing Zhilei spent over a year building a luxury apartment for his cats. It has 2 floors, electrical wiring, and running water. He made the furniture and the structure himself. They even have an elevator. These cats live better than I do. This must be one of the most original and bizarre phone cases in the world. It was created by hyper-realistic sculptor Kenji Suetsugu. It's made of silicone and you can place your earrings in it when you're not wearing them. Look at how it looks when you're on the phone. A Bioduma from Gokei is so tall that he doesn't need to jump to dunk the basketball. He measures 2.36 meters. There's a real-life Frozono. Look at how he built this suit that shoots nitrogen, liquid, and water with a couple of hoses in his hands. He slides on the ice just like in The Incredibles.
Well, it looks so good.
This is the face you make when you jump on a trampoline. At normal speed, it's impossible to notice, but in super slow motion, it's a different story. This company sells candles with unusual and unpleasant scents. Here are some of their fragrances: bleach, gasoline, sweat, urine, French fries, and vomit. The pasta brand Garofalo teamed up with Sony to release PlayStation Pasta. The shapes represent the buttons on the controller. Watch how these NASCAR drivers throw a bowling ball traveling at 225 kilometers per hour. In Venice, ambulances are boats. This is a fish lift for aquariums. It works with negative pressure and is very easy to install. It is estimated that the blow of a ram can generate up to 3,400 newtons of force. To put it in perspective, the punch of an amateur boxer is 2,300 newtons. It doesn't help that they have a very bad temper. What do you think is the most consumed drink in the world? Soda or water? Neither. Tea is the most consumed drink in the world, even more than drinking water. The official name of this crustacean is Cubaris sp, but people call them rubber duckies. If we zoom in a little, you can see why. This is a car cut completely in half and still functional. It was made by Garage 54. When he was a baby, this orange kitten entered the capybara enclosure at the Malaysia Zoo. To everyone's surprise, they adopted him as one of their own. He currently lives with them, and people wait in line for hours to see him. This is the new collaboration between The Simpsons and Adidas. This is how long-distance swimmers eat. This bottle is filled with vitamins and nutrients. Look how fast they drink it. Did you know that cats not only have whiskers on their heads, but also on the back of their front legs? These are called carpal whiskers, and they provide the cat with crucial information about nearby objects. They are very important when hunting. Did you know that Cillian Murphy originally auditioned for the role of Bruce Wayne in Batman Begins? The role went to Christian Bale. However, this audition got him the role of Scarecrow and a lifelong association with director Christopher Nolan. This is a camera lucida, an optical device used by artists as a drawing aid. It creates an optical overlay, allowing the artist to see the object and the drawing simultaneously. This company called Relief makes paper bags without cutting down a single tree. They use the dry leaves that fall in autumn as fiber. They are completely sustainable. Did you know that in Bangkok it's common to park perpendicular behind other parked cars? The people who do this leave their car in neutral so it can be pushed if they need to leave. The painting looks like just a black circle until you get closer and see that it's made up of thousands of dead flies. It was created by Damien Hirst using insect carcasses and resin. There are around 500,000 flies. This is the tallest trike motorcycle in the world. This is how it originally looks and how it looks with the modifications made to it. As you can see, it's not very safe, to say the least. The Burj Khalifa is currently the tallest building in the world. It is immense, but when compared to the height of Mount Everest, it looks small. A restaurant in Israel serves its chocolate dessert in the most disgusting way you can imagine, in a toilet. Obviously, it is clean and disinfected, but I still wouldn't dare. Would you? This is how the ink from tattoo needles enters your skin. It stays in the superficial layer. In some countries around the world, a sport known as ice football is practiced. It looks quite entertaining. As you can see, they aren't wearing skates, so they slip easily. Kimberly Winter is the woman who burps the loudest in the world. She reached 107.3 decibels. Did you know that in warm climates, horses can sweat up to 3.5 liters every 15 minutes? This is the longest sign in the world. It announces the name of a hill in New Zealand. Katsuya Shibata created a device that shakes his shirt to keep him cool on hot days. Parrots are among the most intelligent birds in the world. They can communicate with a vocabulary of over 500 words, answer questions, and classify objects spontaneously.
What's this made of? Glass. What's this called? What's this called? What? Book. What's this book made of? Paper. What's this made of? What's it made of?
He is Shin Rashige, a Japanese artist who creates moving paper illustrations. He makes 2D prints come to life. The Mamenchisaurus sinocanidorum was the animal with the longest neck in history. The neck of this dinosaur could reach up to 15 meters long. That's 6 times longer than a giraffe's neck. Shadow Ace is an expert at making shadows with his hands. Follow him on his social media. This is what the underwear of the Inuit looked like in the 19th century. They made it from seal skin. Quite sexy, I'd say. To prevent tourists from stealing their beer mugs, some bars in Belgium ask you to leave one of your shoes as a deposit. They keep them in baskets and hang them from the ceiling. You get your shoe back when you return the glass. World's longest graffiti. It is a single line that runs through some streets of Manhattan spelling the name of the artist, Momo. It measures over 13 kilometers. On Etsy, you can buy a storm in a jar. The LED lights inside simulate lightning. Blake Wilkie's car has to be the most customized in the world. Look at what it's capable of doing. It flies through the air and lands as if nothing happened. Lingcod fish usually have brown or gray skin, but about 1 in 5 specimens are neon blue both inside and out. In the past, soccer fields were painted by hand. Nowadays, how ridiculous built the largest blender in the world. Some of its victims included a surfboard, tennis balls, a refrigerator, and a bowling ball.
Holy carpenter. Off the belt on its first hit.
This tiny dot you see here is the Patu digua, the smallest spider in the world. It measures just 0.3 millimeters. North of the border molded these creepy clay figures of the Teletubbies. Here you can see a bit of their process and the final result. For the premiere of the film Megalodon 2, the marketing studio invited a group of people to watch the premiere at sea. They provided life jackets and towels. Would you dare? Many people are implanting microchips in their hand with their banking information. This way, they can make purchases by simply presenting their arm. In Asia, macaques use railings as slides. If you ever want to remove highlighter marks from a book, try lemon juice and a cotton swab. Look how easily it comes off. This is what happens if you put a bit of ink from a pen on a piece of paper and put it in water. This is SkyTrain, a monorail that transports people through the Longhuan Mountains in China. Just like when you're on the bus and you run into the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter.
Gryffindor!
This is what it's like to swim in waters with bioluminescent organisms. Their light activates with movement. Look at how they make these giant springs for boats and heavy machinery. These enormous metal rods are heated in an oven. When they reach a certain temperature, they are given their characteristic shape. Did you know that only 7% of the people who use this emoji are referring to the fruit? This is what happens when the president of a country's sports committee decides to send his niece to an Olympic competition instead of a professional athlete. She finished in twice the time. This is not fried chicken, it's ice cream with cookies. It's one of the original desserts from Live Raft Treats. This is the Super Mario remix by beatboxer So-So. All the sounds were made with his mouth and throat. I bet you've never seen a cooler like this. You control it like a remote-controlled car. It has lights and Bluetooth speakers. A human consumes between 1,500 and 3,000 calories a day. Do you know how many the largest animal in the world consumes? Approximately 35 million calories. Beyond the Break built a water park out of Lego. This street in France has curvy lines painted on the asphalt. Since people don't respect the speed limit, the city painted it this way to confuse drivers and force them to slow down. Some patrol cars in the United States are equipped with this curious robot. This allows interactions between the police and patrol officers to be safer. It is equipped with cameras and screens, and why not? Also a helmet. The Flemish giant is the largest rabbit in the world. It can weigh over 10 kilograms.